Welcome to Brad's Beer Reviews. I know it's been a little bit since I've been here, but life happens. So that's basically all I can say about that. Hope you guys like the Santa hat here my mom picked up for me last time I was in town to see my parents. I thought I'd be a little festive and show it off for this round of videos. Up next, we're going to do a beer that my buddy JJ picked up for me. It's by Evil Twin Brewing, based out of Brooklyn, New York. And it's their modern IPA. Now, my buddy JJ is not the biggest IPA fan, and he told me last night that this is probably his favorite IPA that he has ever drank. We actually tend to agree, at least so far, when it comes to that style, so I'm excited to try it. I think I'll like it. I've got a little information for you on it. Now, there seems to be some discrepancy as far as the alcohol by volume. Rate Beer and Beer Advocate say it's 6%, but EvilTwin.dk, even though I've knocked them at least twice for not having much information on their site, says it's 10%. Somebody's lying. I'm going to think it's going to be Rate Beer or Beer Advocate, though. So it comes in at 10%. As always, you can visit the brewer's website at EvilTwin.dk. Rate Beer gives it a 93 overall and a 90 in the style. Beer Advocate gives it an 88 overall, and there's no score by the bros. Now, I did a little bit of research as far as food pairing, because it's something I like to include in the videos and haven't always been able to, or either wasn't able to find anything or forgot to look it up. This time I did remember to. And the general consensus is that spicy and fried foods pair with IPAs best, so keep that in mind. Mexican food, cheese curds, those were just a couple things that I saw mentioned in the little article I was reading. We're going to open this up, and while I'm doing that, I will say that I revisited, just in my leisure time last night, the Guinness Nitro IPA. I drank the last 3 of those that I had, and man, is that a good beer. It's a shame that they only brewed that once. I'm hoping I can get lucky and pick up some more of that, before it becomes very scarce. I'm going to be drinking this out of my brandy snifter. I would really like to have an IPA glass, and any of you viewers out there, you want to donate one, I'd be glad to take it. I'm going to give it a pour. Still with me? Good. All right. Got about 3 fingers ahead here. Looks real white and almost a spongy characteristic to it. Frothy. Looks very good. The color itself is a medium orange, I would say. It's got maybe I would almost say a slight hint of like a caramel color to it, but more so orange. That head looks like it's going to stick around. Very few bubbles there sticking to the bottom of the glass. It looks like it's kind of cloudy. Let me get a nose on it, guys. Alright, right off you get your grapefruit, which comes to, you should expect that grapefruit smell from an IPA, but this one it's not just like bam, right on your nose or anything. It's subtle grapefruit, and I appreciate that. I like that. And I hate to piggyback on what my dad said. If you go back and watch his, he mentions it in his Harvest Ale review, which he just put up today, so make sure you go check that out. But he said that he was finishing off drinking, what is that called? Snake something. Honestly can't remember the title of it, but it's up on his channel as well. But he said that after he was reviewing it, that he was finishing off the beer, and there was a smell to it that he couldn't quite pinpoint when he was recording the video, and afterwards it hit him, and he said it was pineapple. And I smell that in this beer, to be completely honest. And that's something that I've smelled in other IPAs, and I never was able to put a name to the smell, I guess. And when he said pineapple, it made perfect sense to me because you can very much smell that. A slight hop presence. That could, the hoppy smell, I almost said bitterness, but that wouldn't have made sense, right? The hoppy smell that I'm getting, that actually could be coming from the grapefruit, but I want to think that that's the hop profile. This beer smells very tropical. It does not smell super hoppy, so I'm expecting it to be very pleasing. And one thing that I have learned is I do like those tropical hops, if that's a good description for them. I like a fruitier IPA more so than like a grassy notes to it. So we're going to see how this delivers. Let's get a taste on it. Alright, it's got a medium to full mouthfeel on it. The carbonation is perfect on it. I don't think it's too much, I don't think it's too little. You definitely get some of the grassy, hoppy notes, but it's a good balance of the fruitiness in there. I can even taste a little bit of that pineapple profile that I mentioned. Taste the grapefruit. I get like a clean water taste that kind of washes down the middle of the palate. Tell you what, guys, what I'm going to do before I rate this beer, and I will say that I am enjoying it, we're going to pause right here. I'm going to let this warm up a little bit and see how the flavors change on it. I'll be back to let you know how that turns out, and we'll give it our final drink and give it a score. So hang around with me, okay? You guys still watching? Good. Just kidding. I've been sipping on this for a little bit, and it doesn't seem like the profile is going to change too drastically. I do want to correct something that I said when I started the video. Rate Beer and Beer Advocate are correct on the alcohol by volume. I was looking at the can after I paused during the first part of the video, and it does say 6% on the can, so Evil Twin needs to update their information on their own website. That's pretty sad. And also, their distributor is out of Brooklyn, New York. Evil Twin itself is actually out of Connecticut. So I wanted to correct those two things. Now, what we're all here for, the beer. JJ, me and you usually agree, but we don't this time. This is not a bad beer, but I've had better IPAs. Honestly, it doesn't pack enough flavor, in my opinion. And when I say flavor, I'm not talking about a lack of hop presence, because I'm not what anyone would consider a hophead. But there's just not a lot of, I want some more fruitiness with my IPA. I'm not getting that from this. It's honestly a little bland to me. Obviously, everybody's palate's different, so I'm not saying that JJ is wrong for enjoying it. And if he's found an IPA that he likes, you know, I'm happy for him. But this beer is just not for me. With that being said, I do think it's well made. So giving it a balance between how the beer's made and what I feel about it, I'm going to go with a C+ on this one. I might come back to it at some point and see how I feel. And when I say might, I probably will. I usually don't drink a beer just once. So one of these days I'll come back to it and see if my opinion changes. But for now, I'm going to stick with a C+ on this one. It honestly smells better to me than the taste. that hops just goes right down the middle of your tongue. And there's the sweetness on the sides of your of my mouth. The hops do tend to linger around. And that grapefruit taste really stands just slightly above the hops. If you haven't had this beer, it's definitely worth checking out. Like I've always said, Evil Twin makes some great beers. It's just not a personal favorite of mine. And we're going to go for what Greg's beer reviews would call the final chug. Thank you guys for watching.